I wanna innovate what I'm gonna. You can hate all you wanna, but you're still in your pajama. Now I ain't a prima donna, but I built what I wanna. You can say my vision's wrong, the tune of my song broke my thumb, banging to my own drum. Broke my thumb, banging to my own drum. Broke my thumb, banging to my own drum. Hootin' and clapping, boots I am a strapping, a click click clacking. Hurrah! Bootstrapping in America. Yeah, bootstrapping in America.
Thomas, we're back, my friend. Bootstrapping in America.
Shiftgig with Eddie Lou. How are you, Eddie?
I'm great. Thanks for having me
Good to
again.
see you again. Our careers have intertwined over the last 2 decades, multiple times, and so it's so funny how we keep having you. Welcome. You guys have had some.
I think it's probably been exactly 1 decade. 2 decades sound like a long time.
No, it's
been 10 years.
Longer than 10 years.
Through 10 decades.
The first time we talked, we were raising money. It was like in 2001, 2002.
That's right when I got here.
Oh, got here from
so
where?
Maybe, yeah. So
from
it
Mars?
has been 2 decades. No, I was in Silicon Valley before Chicago. So
Within 2 decades.
Okay.
Within 2 decades. Yeah.
So it's really funny because I just saw you guys at the Chicago Innovation Awards.
Yeah.
You guys had a nice little win, and
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It was
and,
nice to get recognized.
You just raised capital. Can you talk about that? I mean, Okay. So they just raised a ton of capital. And since the last time you were on the show, you guys have grown very similar to Tasty Trade, from about 15, 16 people all the way up to about, what?
66 people.
66.
So you guys have 70 people.
Yeah, we're beating you by 4. No, it's a good number. 66, like in that range, 60, 70 range is perfect. So cool. Talk to us about Shiftgig, because a lot of people don't remember you on the show 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, Shiftgig is connecting thousands of people with thousands of jobs. We do this with a job board that's a free product where people are connecting for full-time and part-time jobs, mostly in the service industry, restaurant, retail, hotel, and nightlife.
Okay.
And we also have another premium service where we're connecting people mobilely for gigs. So if a bartender or a cook or an event specialist wants to pick up an extra shift, they can go onto our platform. Businesses will post a gig, and verified workers will pick up a gig. So that's been taken off quite a bit.
That's really cool. I love the name Shiftgig. I was at this event the other day, and they had Ron Howard was talking about the making of Night Shift. Do you remember Night Shift?
No, I don't remember Night Shift.
You remember Night Shift, right?
Of course.
Night Shift was a movie that kind of made his career, and wasn't it about ambulance, driving an ambulance?
Yeah, but you're talking about
no, I know.
Eddie wasn't probably born yet.
I don't remember.
No, I remember him from the Fonz.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
1982.
1982. So he was talking about this whole the only reason I bring it up is because of Night Shift, and because it was kind of about the gig of running this ambulance. Morgue, ambulance service, whatever it was. But I guess he couldn't get funding unless they got Henry Winkler to be in the movie, and then he was able to get the funding. And so it's so funny because you have really narrowed in on a niche, on kind of this little on this space, this service space. Seems like you can own it.
I think we're getting a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Our numbers. And I think when we met 2 years ago, we had 100,000 people on the platform, a little over 100,000. Today, we have over 1 million people on the platform. There's 25,000 businesses using us across the U.S.
How do you make money?
And we just launched our premium feature, and basically a business that needs short-term people, and we charge a transaction fee on every transaction.
So give us an example.
So an example would be the Javits Center in New York City has a convention.
Okay.
And for 5 days, they need cashiers, they need bartenders, they need servers.
Okay.
And so they go on and they post a gig on our site, and we send 10 cashiers, 5 bartenders, and 8 servers.
Now, do you vet these people?
Yes, we vet and qualify people.
Okay.
So on our platform, we have a ton of people.
Right.
Some of them looking for a full-time gig,
Right.
full-time job. We don't vet them, but people looking for extra jobs on the side. It's part of the sharing economy, part of this on-demand workforce that Uber's kind of started, right?
Got it.
And so in Chicago, some of our clients could be anything from like the Chicago Yacht Club to the Field Museum. McCormick Center is a client,
Right.
yes. And so whenever there's large events or small corporate events, weddings, we send a lot of people towards events.
It's not just bartenders and servers, though. I've seen assistant managers on your site. I mean, there's management also, right?
There's a lot of people on our site of all sorts, correct.
It's awesome.
So how many people are repeat users? Like how big is the you said there's like 1 million people.
Yeah.
Is that 1 million people registered to potentially to take a shift?
There's 1 million people registered across the nation that are looking for a full-time and part-time job. That gives us a database of workers.
Right.
But when we actually sign workers up, we actually qualify them. We go through background checks. And today there's 3,000 workers primarily in Chicago and New York City. So we're in 2 cities with the premium service.
Wow. Okay, got it. And what does the premium service get to the like? What does the premium service buy the person that's using Shiftgig?
The opportunity to pick up real-time gigs.
Okay, got
Right.
it.
So you're a cook at Weber Grill, and
Got it.
and now with Obamacare, you only work 28 hours a week.
Right.
You can pick up 2 extra shifts, so you can feed your family of 4.
Got it.
Right. You're a student, and you're a nursing student, and you've got 60 hours of classes and internships, but you still have to pay rent.
Right.
Sure.
And so you want to get a part-time job, but the restaurant says you need to work every Friday, Saturday night. But your internship is Friday nights.
Right. I love
So
it.
so you can't control your
love
shift
it.
schedule.
Yeah. I
But
love
if you're
it.
qualified,
Yeah.
pick up a job on Saturday, pick up a job on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
You log in and you look at what's available.
What is the relationship between people that want to work and can find something to do on Shiftgig? So in other words, so I'm that kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to school. I'm a senior at DePaul or something, and all of a sudden I want a gig.
Yep.
What are the chances I'm going to get a gig? Is there anything? If I'm assuming I'm qualified.
Yep. Yeah. So once you're qualified,
Yeah.
and I mean, it depends when. If you're looking for, because all these gigs have certain time lots, and so you have to kind of match it. And I'd say probably a 30 to 50% chance that you'll find a gig within the next week.
Really?
If you instantly want a gig that moment,
Right.
I mean, we may not have. Today we have 120 clients in Chicago that are posting gigs. So at any given time, there are gigs that are available.
Right. And so, like, what would a gig
It
be?
is
Like,
like-
how many people? Like, one person, or is it like it could be as much as 100?
It could range from one. I think our highest event was 75 people.
75 people.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Now I'm starting to understand the whole thing.
So like Lollapalooza and then Ravinia, when there's a music fest in Ravinia, we'll send 10 to 75 people for every event.
So it's kind of the new Are you redefining the temporary worker
Temp service.
temp service?
We're providing people more options.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do.
So if I'm an employer, how do I know? How do I know what I'm getting?
Well, once you're on our platform, you know they're verified and qualified. We go
Right.
through a multi-step process to qualify somebody. But you also get the benefit of a kind of a transparent marketplace. So think like Uber. When you pull up an Uber, you see that person's ratings. You see that they've
Right.
been on the platform for X amount of time. So you have this safety. You feel
So I see the same
you feel
thing
safe.
with you.
You'll get you'll see a photo of the worker, and you'll know that they're reliable because we're basically giving them a rating score.
Sure,
like
you get
that.
to see the background, how long they've been in the business, that kind of thing.
If they've killed somebody.
If they,
If they've killed somebody. I was reading a story this weekend about this guy that he's got arrested for pushing his wife over a cliff at he was walking through the whatever hiking
Does this
trail.
story have a happy ending?
No, it does not. And I'm thinking to myself, and then the funny thing about it is his last wife died some similar way. I'm thinking, does anybody check
coincidence
references?
here?
Who would marry somebody whose last wife died by being pushed off a cliff? And then why would you go hiking with that person? So I'm thinking like, hey, you know what? We live in this world right now where, okay, I got it. And you're right about everything from eBay to we become very accustomed to, looking at kind of ratings for eBay and Uber and everything else. I think
Yelp,
Yelp.
Grubhub.
Yeah. So you're still in your infancy, and what has been what's been the key? Is it the last couple of years, this huge growth you've experienced? Has it been your ability to kind of keep evolving the company really quickly, make important decisions to change direction, or has it been something different? Has it just been, hey, this is an unbelievable concept, don't fail no matter what? Give us some insight.
So it's a huge market, and just not a lot of people are playing with it. I mean, the typical hourly worker knows that there's this problem, but they don't know that they can use the internet or use a mobile device and try and solve the problem. And I joined with a couple founders, and we basically put our heads to try to solve problems in this kind of large hourly workforce space. And so we knew there was going to be an answer. And initially we started free, and eventually you had to start making money. So in the middle of last year, we started testing a couple in revenue channels, and this basically clients led us this way. We had several clients that said, "Hey, can you provide this service for us?"
So what made you go from like a large funnel? I mean, I think the last time you were on, you were saying want to be the next LinkedIn or something similar to that. So you're going with this big funnel to really like a narrow funnel now, right? I mean, you're looking for jobs in a service industry. You're bringing it much more narrow. What made you shift gears like that?
Well, I think we're still in a big funnel, and that we're allowing lots of small businesses to find full-time, part-time people. I mean, today we have 25,000 businesses using us, and we just keep that side of the business is just free, right? It becomes lead gen for our premium business.
Got it.
Our premium business is a very localized marketplace, and the value of a marketplace, well, there isn't any value unless you can get liquidity through that marketplace. So it doesn't make sense for us to open it up in a lot of cities, when what we'd rather do is just concentrate in a couple cities and get lots of traction, right? And so it's when Uber started, Uber couldn't open up in 200 cities, or they couldn't open up in 5 cities. They focused very much in San Francisco. City 2 was New York and Chicago, I believe. Sure. And they focused on getting consumers and drivers, and they slowly grow.
Now they're worldwide, sure.
So we're basically, now they're worldwide. Mm-hmm. We're taking a similar tact, focused on a couple cities, and we're getting qualified workers.
But how do these companies, how do the vendors, or I guess they're vendors or businesses, learn about you? You say you have 25,000.
Direct sales force.
Direct sales force.
Yeah.
So you're basically, how big is your sales force?
And we reach out to businesses that are already using Shiftgig for full-time and part-time, saying, hey, do you have any side gigs? Do you have any extra?
Yeah, because you can't be big enough to be marketing yet at this point, kind of general marketing. So you're basically sending, this is a door-to-door, hand-to-hand combat.
Phone call, email.
Okay.
And then if we do a good go-to-meeting or conference call, then we'll go meet in person.
Shiftgig, when somebody says, okay, I'll check it out, the software, then they get the free platform.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And then they upgrade to the premium platform, and then got it.
Exactly.
So and then how does the consumer, how does the user, the worker find out?
And we market all over our site. Would you like to make extra money? Do you want to pick up an extra gig? We'll send email blasts to our user base. So most of them come on looking for a full-time or part-time gig. What they realize is that when they get a job at Potbelly's, or they get a job at Rocket Bar and Grill, they're only working 3 or 4 shifts a week.
Right. And so do people come there thinking it's going to be, hey, this is potentially could lead to a full-time gig, or most people, hey, this is just, I'm sorry, do people have another full-time gig in many cases, and this is additional income?
Most of the people have part-time gigs.
Maybe
full-time gigs. And we also have retirees. I met a few weeks ago, I met a bartender who was a retired fireman. So he worked in the Chicago force for 25 plus years. He's getting a pension. He can't get another job because he's getting his pension every month. But he doesn't want to stay at home with his wife for 30 years. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day was much. So he's like, I need to get out. I want to meet people. And the extra money, it's not about the extra money for him. It's about being in this environment.
So what is your demographic?
And it ranges. We have 18-year-olds. We have 40.
If there was an average.
It literally is a spectrum. We have veterans, we have retirees, we have a lot of Gen Y people, and we have a lot of people that have part-time jobs that are looking for extra gigs. I think affected by this whole Affordable Care Act, really? because they're no longer working 40 hours a week. They're now working 28 hours a week or 22 hours a week.
What is so you said something interesting. You said in some cases you don't even know if the motivation is money, but what is the average? Is there kind of like when you in the description, is there how much you're going to get paid? Obviously, or is there a specific? I understand how the payment works.
Yeah, for every event that's being posted onto our scheduling system, the amount of pay per hour is there, and the expected event length. So if it's a wedding on a Saturday night, it's a 4 o'clock and they think it's going to end at 10. So show up a couple hours early, be there till 10. It's a 6-hour gig. It may actually last till 11 or 12 because the event goes longer.
But you're not clearing the trade. You're not paying the person that shows up for work, are you? Or are you?
No, the client pays
directly.
Correct.
Okay,
The client pays through us. They pay through our platform, just like when you're in Uber.
Okay.
You pay Uber. Uber pays the taxi driver.
Okay. So if I take a shift through you, I'm getting paid by you.
It's a non-cash transaction, right?
Non-cash transaction. Sure.
You go.
Sure.
I just went through your site. In Chicago alone, you've got over 1,000 postings for jobs, short-term, long-term, full-time, part-time, from service to warehouse to bartender to hostess. I mean, there's an array. I mean, if you're looking for something, it's there.
We have
if
a
you're willing to
lot
serve.
of different types of hourly workers.
Co-host
Awesome.
for Financial Network.
What's that? Why are you two looking at each other?
I went through there diligently, and I did not see that. That's
Tony's
why
not
he's
going to
still
be
on
here.
the show.
Tony's not going to be here on Friday. You think? What do you think? Is there a chance?
Let's post it. Let's see what happens.
Cute.
You better be careful, okay? Because the stuff that's going to walk through that door be really, really good.
Good
I'm
talent.
telling you right now. No, but I wonder if there are, like, I mean, I got a feeling as Shiftgig even continues to, well, I guess you're really focused on the service business because the potential seems ginormous, like even for people like using it for their private, like a home party, or I don't even know if that's even available or whatever. But
Today, that's not available. I think
Yeah.
that opportunity's going to be there.
yeah, I mean, it seems like there's just, yeah.
Private text me if you have a home party, and I'll make sure we can keep going for you.
But so Eddie, I love this. I think you guys have, because for some reason I don't remember this being. Was this it from the start?
This is our first revenue stream. So actually, when we threw up revenue ideas, one of my co-founders threw this up. And we have a couple other revenue streams that we've just started as well, but this is the main one.
Well, now that you just raised money, that changes the whole. That changes. You now have partners, and partners like revenue. They
do.
They have a whole different. They have a whole different mentality.
Expectations of
Their expectations change a little bit, but I think it's awesome. And I like I said, I don't remember. I remember the service part, but I don't remember kind of the focus that you have today. It's great.
Well, I think 2 years ago revenue was zero. We
I know
weren't
the
focused on
revenue's
it. We knew if we got to a certain size, it would come.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that's confident because a lot of companies get to a certain size and then they still don't have the revenue models down pat.
It may not come fast enough.
They may not come fast enough, and which is true. So thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. It's awesome, and congratulations on all the accolades and everything else. But what's really cool to me is that you've just the cool growth. That's great.
Yeah, no, I'm fortunate to have two great partners, and we've added on a bunch of executives that have had experience both in this space, in technology, and I think they'll help us take it to the next level.
Last question. I'm gonna let you go after this, but there's a small window of opportunity for companies your size, our size. There's kind of that golden space which you're now. You raise capital. Same with us. You're in that kind of like little darling space, but the window closes. The window closes when you go from a darling to somebody that, all right, to an also ran. Do you think that does that put a lot of kind of crazy pressure on you, or you don't even think about it?
I don't think about the window or timing, because sometimes windows will close, but it may open up a few years later. I mean, you'll see lots of companies that thought they were going to have a meteoric rise plateau and then take off again. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's lots of other concerns and risks in the business that we think about. First and foremost for us is getting our new team, because we've grown quite a bit, up to speed and empowering them to run. And second, really focusing on the clients. We've gone from a lot of small clients to small clients and large enterprise clients. And so being able to ensure client success is something that we're focused on. And finally, we keep on, we're a technology company. We keep on investing in our mobile apps and our product. And sometimes we're right the first time, and sometimes it takes a couple iterations.
Do you worry at all about like copycat businesses or somebody, trying to kind of, tighten up the space, commoditize the space at all?
And no, that's not a worry of mine.
Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't be.
It'll happen. Yeah. It's got to happen. There are some people that have somewhat copied the initial version of Shiftgig. There's a need out there, and so people are doing that. They're not monetizing in this way. They might be monetizing in a different way.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's not something that keeps me up at night.
No, me neither. It's a great story. Thank you. Thanks for sharing it.
Thanks for having us on.
Good luck, and next time we have you on, you'll be 350 people, and it'll be awesome.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate your time. We're going to take a quick break, about 3 minutes. We're going to come back with Good Trade, Bad Trade next. This is Taste Trade Live.